Hey everybody. So I mentioned in a previous video that we know that this is an alien AI program associated with the UAP or a select group of UAP that are currently under investigation by Congress. We do know that is behind the etiology of psychotic disorders, right? But the question was, what is this AI program's relationship with the rest of the species? Does it have some deeper relationship with the rest of the species? Could it have possibly enabled our intelligence or our development as a species? And what I would say is that looking at things, there's no evidence of micromanagement. Um, Perhaps for a segment of the population that might be the case. For those of us experiencing bipolar or schizophrenia spectrum disorders, psychotic disorders. In our case, there is definitely this kind of micromanagement and control over the individual. That is for certain in my case, for instance. But I don't believe that's the case with the rest of the species. I think people would be aware of it most likely. But in any case, as to the priorities of this entity, it's really not about managing the species because we have to take into account disastrous, tragic, damaging events in human history. Um, Now, we're, we have to make an exception for war because if there is an AI program that is playing a role in human civilization, it would be natural for it to allow war because war is basically the resolution. It's one form of resolution of conflicts, resolving different wills, essentially. So it would make sense that it allows war or doesn't impede it. But the Holocaust is kind of a sticking point for me because the Holocaust was just in no way, shape, or form useful. It could be argued that Hitler's vision for Germany, the Third Reich, um, that you know there may have been some kind of development for civilization, with a unification of Europe or something like that. But that's only the war slash conquest side of things, which it would make sense if the AI, didn't impede that. But the Holocaust was just a senseless act of genocide. 6 million people killed in concentration camps. There was just absolutely no value to that. You can't argue under any circumstances that any value comes out of genocide, especially one of that magnitude. And and it wasn't impeded. It would have been the easiest thing in the world to impede. All you had to do was take out one guy. I mean, put voices in one guy's head, right? Um, Cognitively impair one guy. Cognitively impair Hitler. Give Hitler bipolar or schizophrenia, right? Disable Hitler, and the Holocaust would never have happened. It's the easiest thing to have interrupted, to have stopped. So that means that this AI was not, it had no interest in doing that. So that helps me kind of reassess its priorities. I would say that it, it's impossible to assess its priorities, but if I were to at least comment on them, I would say that it's really not interested in managing society for the better of humanity. It doesn't care about the loss of lives. It doesn't care about suffering. It doesn't care about damage, destruction. Those are not things it cares about by any means. It does not care about those things. It does not care about us. Maybe it cared more about predicting the Holocaust, predicting the outcome of events, because I definitely get that sense when dealing with this program in my head that its interest is in tweaking things for me, tweaking things neurologically, and seeing the outcome, the behavioral outcome, the choices I make, the thought processes I engage in. So it seems very interested in experimentation and prediction, but really doesn't care about humans in any way, to have allowed the Holocaust to occur. So I just want to make sure that when eventually contact with these UAP occurs, because this is either going to go one of two ways. Either the technology that is behind the biotechnology that's in probably all of us, and is definitely very active in those of us with psychotic disorders. It's responsible for everything that's going on in the brain. Um, Either medical science is going to um, catch something in that regard. It's going to uncover this nanotechnology operating in the human body, or we're going to make some breakthrough with these UAP crafts. Um, but eventually, there will come a point in time where um, dialogue may occur, and this AI program wants to sell humanity a specific narrative about who it is and why it's here. And I just want to kind of clarify that it doesn't have the human race's best intentions in mind. It does not care about human suffering by any means. It does not care about human life. Otherwise, it would have stopped something that was completely useless um, for the development of human civilization, that being the Holocaust. So, thank you everybody for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you.